All right, Kovalev, Andre Ward press event. Okay, so look, what I do, basically you can click on any video, watch the face off, watch the whole press event, the round table after the event. That's what they do. They have like a kind of open media type event, and then they have more of a private type interview at a round. It's called a round table. And hang on, let me plug my device in here. So look, this might be a little bit long today, but there's a lot to go over, okay? And and a lot was said. But like I said, I went through all the interviews, watched all the footage to bring you guys the best of the best. And I can tell you, Kovalev is pissed. I mean, this dude is pissed. Now, a lot of people, they're like, yeah, but that aggression is going to work against him on fight night, meaning, we've seen it before. A guy lets his, emotions take over and they make mistakes in the ring. But I don't think so. I think, he's going to be focused and it's going to be controlled aggression, and that really amounts to effective aggression, which will win you a fight, okay? So, let me just kind of give you the highlights of what was said. This actually, the Kovalev laughing right there was when he was asked if he believes Andre Ward is pound for pound number one, and he just got a really good laugh out of that, like most of us do. But yeah, like I said, let me get you a better picture here. Okay, so now I'm going to kind of give you the highlights, just boom, 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 one after the other, and then I'll get into my own personal thoughts. But these are just kind of some notes I took down along with a little bit of elaboration. So Kovalev, he said, Andre Ward hits like a woman. I will destroy him. They asked, like, about his power and things like that. And, Kovalev said, look, I didn't even feel any punch. Like, going into the fourth and the fifth round, it was like a sparring partner. Like, I just couldn't feel this guy. And before I read everything, I'll tell you, Kovalev repeated over and over and over that he gassed out. He kept talking about, well, hey, I gassed out, round 5 and 6. I just simply gassed out. And he was like, I'm not saying he wasn't saying that he lost. He was just saying that he thought he had a comfortable lead and he could just kind of skate to, a decision, right? And that's always a bad idea. I mean, even if you have to take a couple of rounds off, whatever, just do it. Give up, round 7, round 8 to come in strong, round 9, 10. That's what he should have done. So, and, really his corner, they should have known that he was getting tired because, I mean, look, any interview Kovalev did, that's all he kept talking about was how he gassed out. Now, of course, Andre Ward, he says, stop making excuses, blah, 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 blah. And, look, he's not. The thing is, he's being honest. He's just saying, look, this is what happened. I believe I won, but, I basically, I didn't knock him out because I just simply ran out of energy. I got tired. And there's a lot of talk right now. Is Kovalev and his coach John Davis Jackson, are they parting ways? Did they break up? And no, according to Kovalev, he was very firm and said no, no, we're good. Now he did say that they had problems, in the original training camp, that he felt that they were doing the wrong type of training, and he should have been focused more on like strength and conditioning, which I am a huge advocate of that. Like you absolutely must have a good strength and conditioning coach, especially against a guy like Andre Ward. Chances are you're going to get into deep water with him, so okay. And then and there's been like I said, let me just read what I wrote, and then I'll kind of elaborate on it. And there's been a rumor going around Kovalev has left Jackson, but Kovalev said they are still together. Although he did say he felt overtrained and they had the wrong type of camp they needed for a 12-round fight. They only trained for 6. This is what Kovalev said. He's like, we basically trained, for half of a fight because we thought we were going to get him out of there. So that's just what he's saying. Like okay, he repeated multiple times. He ran out of energy, and he said, "We'll make the correction and punish Ward. We'll punish Ward for 12 rounds, or until he knocks him out." I don't, look, I don't know if this is Kovalev making excuses or if they had some serious problems. I really don't. I don't know what it is. It's like, what I just said though, I believe that they trained, they thought they were going to get him out of there early. That's all I can come up with. I mean, because you're going into the biggest fight of your career, you would want to make sure you have a proper training camp, So I don't know. I mean, I'll let you decide. Is it an excuse? Is it legit? Now again, don't say that I'm not taking back anything I ever said. It was a robbery. I believe Kovalev won. But, these are the things. Look, these questions that we're going over now, this is what we've all been debating about. This is what me and you and then we all wonder about and debate about and talk about and argue about, what in the hell happened, right? What happened in that fight? So here we go. Now we have answers, clear-cut answers. And like I said, I've gone through and just dissected all of these videos to bring you the answers to all of the questions that I've heard. So, you know, uh, Andre Ward. So this time they will get the right training camp, and I think Andre Ward knows this, and that's why he waited so long to sign the rematch, because he knows with the media obligation, it doesn't leave a huge window for Kovalev to have another camp, and that's kind of what was insinuated during the press event, that Andre Ward was dragging on negotiations in order to give Kovalev another bad camp. And I'll get into that contract in a minute. Like, when they look, if you go back and watch any of my Andre Ward videos where I said, talked about the original contract and the security clause, the rematch terms, I mean, it was all true. Everything I told you guys in every single video I've ever made was confirmed. So, there you go. I mean, it's almost like I get an A plus, because I'm telling you, like, everything I've told you guys is 100% true. About the contract and, the money. I mean, just everything I've ever said about the situation, I got 100% confirmation and validation today. Okay. Now, I will admit, I do find it odd. Kovalev said he gassed out. I don't know. I would kind of think he'd want to keep that to himself, but it just seems like he's being honest, and I think that's okay. So, but this time he said he wouldn't show Andre Ward any respect whatsoever, and he's looking for a knockout. He simply does not want it to go to the judges, but if it does, he wants it to be just so convincing that they've got to give him the decision. So we'll see. I mean, really, look, I think the rematch, all of it boils down to the training camp. What kind of training camp is Kovalev going to have? So. And then Andre Ward went on to say, he said, I'm all in his head. That doesn't mean anything, but I'm in his head. Okay, then he goes on to say, I learned more about Kovalev in the last 4 months than I did fighting him 12 rounds. Okay, so he's saying that, he's really winning that psychological game, according to Andre Ward. And then Andre Ward said he's lost a lot of respect for Kovalev, but usually he gains respect for his opponent after the fight. Then he goes on to say Kovalev will not stop making excuses or claiming he was robbed. I just cannot respect that. That's what Andre Ward said. He's like, the guy just continues to make excuses and, shouting, I was robbed, and I cannot respect that. So, here's the thing. I mean, well, the other side of that argument is, okay, well, how can anyone respect Andre Ward going around acting like he just dominated, like it was just a complete beatdown, like he just beat the brakes off Kovalev, and that's what he keeps acting like. So, it kind of goes both ways, right? I mean, seriously, like really, even if you're an Andre Ward fan, you got to admit, Andre Ward is parading around like, like David and Goliath, like he just conquered mountains here, So, at best, it was a very, really, really close decision at best for Andre Ward. So, to act like you just went in there and dominated, that's not right. So, okay, then he went on to say, Kovalev is acting arrogant. And he should learn how to be humble and respectful. Okay, this motherfucker is straight up delusional. Okay, he's telling these reporters, well, Kovalev is acting arrogant. He should learn, to be humble and blah. It's like, are you kidding me, dude? Like you cannot be serious. Like, Yeah, I mean, literally, Andre Ward is like the most arrogant, narcissistic boxer I have ever known. Like in history, I cannot think of anyone that was as delusional as he is. So, I mean, for him to like preach to other people about arrogance and being humble is it's pure fucking comedy, is what it is. It's just that's comedy right there. Okay. Uh, Andre Ward also said a better version of Kovalev will show up on fight night, and then he went on to say it's about how you lose. He kind of insinuated, okay, this part here, they pretty much asked him, do you think you'll get a better Kovalev in the rematch? And, do you think, it was a robbery, stuff like that. And he went on to say, well, it's about how you lose and how you win. Like, he would never answer the question. He would never give a clear, direct answer. Like, yes, I believe I won round, 2, 4, 3, 6, 10, and, I think I got, 7 out of 5. Like, he never would give a clear answer. It just kept, talking about, all this, like, boxing philosophy. Like, oh, you got to know how to win and lose. It's like, dude, why can't you just give a direct answer? Right? Usually when people kind of skirt around a question like that, it's because they don't want to give a direct answer because they know it's bullshit, right? So then he said, there is a perception and reality. All that talking behind my back, but you didn't say shit to my face. I mean, this is exactly what Andre Ward said. He just said that, there's a perception, like meaning like, the public view and what Kovalev will say in front of a camera. But when they get face to face, he's saying, Kovalev didn't say shit to him. Well, I don't think he needs to, right? I mean, what does he expect? There's like a 10-second face off. Like what is he supposed to do? You know what I mean? It's like and that kind of in my mind, that kind of shows a little bit of fear and intimidation. Like, Andre Ward, he's expecting him to do something like that, but he didn't, meaning he knows that Kovalev is pissed. So, I don't know. I mean, the shit he says doesn't make any sense. I mean, I'll pass it on to you guys, and I don't, and I'm speaking. These are like quote literal, like verbatim terms here. This is like exactly what Andre Ward said. I mean, it's not, I'm not paraphrasing. That's exactly what he said. So, and then they said, they straight up asked him, do you like Andre Ward? And they were asking Kovalev in this interview right here. They said, do you like Andre Ward? And he said, no, he is walking around with a crown on his head like he is something special when he knows I won the fight, but the judges handed him a gift decision. Kovalev said, even the Andre Ward fans came up to me after the fight and said, I know you won. He said all over social media and even like, out in public to this day, hardcore Andre Ward fans approach him and say, look, we know you won the fight, and again, I personally, I've experienced the same thing. I've had a lot of Andre Ward fans come up to me and said, hey, I know, it was a robbery, I mean, so, I mean, there's just a handful of people out there that will, continue to defend Andre Ward, but, yet I ask them, well, what round? What's your score? Why? And none of them can answer me. None of them can give me, like specific rounds or reasons that Andre Ward won, except, well, he got the decision. That's pretty much it. It's like, okay, but that, it's not answering my question. But yeah, once again, after all this is going on, oh, hang on. Then I'm going to read you one last part. Then Kovalev said Andre Ward will probably bail out. He'd be surprised if the rematch even happens. Insinuating or claiming that Andre Ward will, try to like fake an injury, something like that. So he's even doubtful that Andre Ward's going to show up, on fight night because. And I kind of don't blame him, right? He's saying this guy might try to fake an injury or just bail out or, push it out further than it needs to go, something like that. So, we'll see. I don't know personally. I kind of think it'll happen because there's a lot of money on the line. But, when asked, Kathy Dubas said the second fight will do much better. Okay, now this was really interesting to me. When, they basically asked her about the pay-per-view numbers. And I know the YouTube community, they make such a big deal out of it, right? The pay-per-view number. She said, well, Kovalev, she said, we had the Pacquiao fight 1 week before Kovalev Ward. The election was going on. The NFL was down 20 to 25%. And then Kathy Dubin, she just went gangster and said, look, we don't care about money or pay-per-view. We want our belts back. She said, I really don't care about anything else. It could be the worst numbers in boxing history. We want to prove a point. We want to prove Andre Ward lost and will lose again. But this time there will be no doubt Kovalev is the champion. So, she was basically saying, look, I don't give a shit about, pay-per-view. I don't care about money. This is just about, pride and respect and trying to make something right that is incredibly wrong right now. In her mind, that's what she said. She's like, look, we want our belts back, and we want to take back what was stolen from us. And then, she went on to say that like I told you guys, there was a second contract. The original contract that Andre Ward agreed to was simply ripped up and thrown away. Andre Ward created a second contract that looked nothing like the original contract, and she gave a few details, about the sponsors and the pay-per-view split. She was talking about the gate sales, and she went on to say, and just the overall money that he was getting, which she didn't give a dollar amount, but she said it was like a significant increase, an unrealistic increase, I think is the word that she used. She just said, Andre Ward, basically asked and received like just a ridiculous amount of money. Or the other option was take me to court for breach of contract and we'll tie it up for 2 or 3 years. And, Kovalev will never get those belts back. I'll vacate them. Now, he could get them back, but he's going to have to, it'd take 2 or 3 years, right? So, they had a choice. I mean, if you go on that path, you're no longer the champion. And a lot of people said to me, oh, well, Kathy Dubas, she should have taken him to court, for breach of contract because he didn't honor the original contract like a real man does, right? So, and she just said, well, look, here, I got A and I have B. Okay, over here on the A side, I got, take this guy to court that's been known for dragging shit out for 2 and 3 years in court, and ruin Kovalev's legacy. And meanwhile, he's trying to like fight all these people to gain all these belts back, and it's just like this long road to get back to where he was. Or, in which, by the way, financially, that would not have been beneficial for him. Or we can take a loss right here. We can just, we can take a loss, get him in the ring, beat him, and be right back where we started, or even better, right? So think about this. You got a win over Andre Ward. You got all your belts back. So yeah, I would take the gamble and do that. And then again, and then she, reiterated that it's not about the money or the pay-per-view or none of that. We want our belts back and we want to take back what is ours. That's what she kept saying. So, I mean, that's pretty much the gist of the whole thing. So I don't want to make it too long, but, yeah, I mean, I think the biggest surprise to me, so after all the watching and studying I did, probably the biggest surprise was Kovalev, just continued to repeat that, he was gassed out. It's like that's pretty much was his answer to everything. I had a bad training camp. I was gassed out. And but I do think I won, but this time I'm not going to gas out. And I cannot remember his strength and conditioning coach, but I know I interviewed him like a long time ago, man. It was like during the oh man, I don't remember what fight that was. It was probably about 2 or 3 years ago, about 2 years ago. I did a phone interview with his strength and conditioning coach, and I can't even think. I have his number in my phone. Maybe I can try to text him or something. But yeah, I don't know who he has right now. I need to look into that. And there does seem like there is a lot of turmoil between John Jackson, his coach, and Kovalev. It seems like there's a lot of turmoil between those two guys right now. And I had and a shout out to Strictly Boxing News. We talked on the phone the other night, and he asked that question. Or we both were wondering, what happened to Jackson? Like, did Kovalev split with him? And I told him, I said, I don't think so. And if you remember in the original fight, Virgil Hunter, he was kind of like talking shit about Jackson, saying, look, it's the biggest fight of Kovalev's career, and he's not even here. He didn't even show up, kind of thing. And there were, he was like, I know you're young, and but they're taking advantage of you, like you're not getting paid the right amount of money, all this kind of stuff. And so I don't know. It seems like even back then in the original fight, they were kind of having, internal problems. So you can just kind of like make of it what you will. Hang on here. I'm trying to get this screen off. But yeah, guys, I mean, that's about all I have. I mean, yeah, like I said, Kovalev is pissed, and my prediction has not changed. I think Kovalev is going to win. I think he's going to win by knockout. I really do. I think it's going to be a TKO, some kind of stoppage. I just think he's going to go in there and overwhelm Andre Ward early. I think it's going to be like I don't know, maybe shit. No, you know what? I don't even think round one's going to be like a feel-out round. I think everything Kovalev does is going to have bad intentions on it. So, that's just my opinion. So anyway, leave your comment below. Tell me what you think. I mean, did you get a chance to watch it? I mean, like I said, honestly, I probably wouldn't go watch the face-off because it wasn't really, worth watching in my opinion. So but yeah, tell me what you guys think, and I appreciate you watching. And one last thing before I get off here, pretty soon, I don't know if you guys remember, I had my studio at my old house. Well, I moved. That's why, right now I'm doing everything on, my tablet, phone, whatever. But we're going to get back into that. The channel is growing just rapidly. We're doing really good. So, eventually, we're gonna spice it up a little bit. We're gonna fancy it up a little bit, put some bells and whistles on it. Some editing, some interviewing, and then later on today, I'll be in Galveston at the Jack Johnson Memorial. The first African American heavyweight champion. I'm going to go visit my sister in Galveston today, so I'm going to stop by that memorial park and try to get some video, maybe do a quick video for you guys. So anyway, thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.